G'day legends, it's Mark here from North Oz, and in today's video I'm going to be trying out the new 400 watt solar panel blanket from Renogy, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm going to be incorporating it in my long-term travel for the rest of this year. So stick around for today's video, it's going to be an interesting one. So guys, this is the new 400 watt solar panel blanket from Renogy. And before we go any further, guys, as always, super transparent regarding the reviews of any products we do here on the channel. This is a sponsored video, and I'm really glad that Renogy were able to come on board for this video, and that I have been really looking forward and really looking at trying to find a compact solar panel blanket for my setup for my trips that I have coming up in the next month or 2 months that I have massive trips. I need to make sure I'm maximizing the space in my canopy, and this solar panel blanket, as compact as it is exactly what I needed. So I am able to swap out my big bulky one for this one, and as you can see, it is exactly that. It is super compact. Now, a little bit about this solar panel blanket is that it does have grab handles on the top, so it makes it easy to carry around. As I just demonstrated, it's really light as well. Really good build quality as well. All on the outside has got high quality touches as well. The zips have that water protection, so it's got that nice plastic on the zippers, so it doesn't let in water. And just little bits and pieces, guys, that you notice, like the straps, for example, has a whole pile of adjustability, so you don't have to cram this thing into its original case, because there's nothing worse than that. And with a lot of other companies, you're really having to try to force things back into the original packaging, but with this, you don't need to do that at all. So a couple of things about this solar panel blanket, a couple of features. One of the biggest ones is that this uses N-type cells. So if you want to have a look at N-type versus P-type cells, that is going to keep you, it's going to keep you reading for a little while, but in total, the N-type cells are a lot more efficient than the older sort of P-type cells. We want to be using N-type cells, guys. So increased efficiency will give us better bang for our form size, our form factor. So N-type cells are definitely a big win for this solar panel blanket. A couple of things that this solar panel blanket comes with as well is a shoulder carry strap as well, which is super handy if you're going, say, from the car park to the beach and you want to power up some of your things down at the beach. But let's go ahead and test this product out. Let's get it out. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how much power it's putting out in terms of volts. And then, yeah, I'll give you guys a little bit of a wrap up as to what I think of this solar panel blanket and whether or not I'll be including it in my setup for this year and for my huge trips that I have coming up over the next couple of months. So let's go ahead and do that now. Here we are doing a test setup of the solar panel blanket, and it was a bit strange getting this out of a drawer, as my previous blanket was a lot bulkier and was a challenge to stow away. So the compact form factor of this blanket is definitely a huge bonus at this point. Taking it to the front of the vehicle and opening it up on the bonnet was pretty straightforward. It opens out quite a long way, so on a smaller vehicle, you would be moving the blanket up the windscreen a bit, which would also provide some shade for the front of the cab. The first thing I immediately noticed was the cable that's attached to the blanket is on the shorter side. Now, my Landcruiser is by no means a small vehicle, but if you are using it like I am here, or if you are parked in the shade and want to reach out a ways to catch some sun, you may be limited by the length of the cable. Now, I have an extension cable that I made a while back for my old roof-mounted solar panel, so I'd recommend having a way of extending this cable like I have done here. I tested the voltage of the blanket and it was putting out around 37 volts, which unfortunately was a bit high for my DC to DC charger to handle in the canopy that's attached to my 200 amp hour lithium battery, as it can only handle 26 volts before the overcharge alarm starts beeping at me. This would restrict me to being able to only use this solar panel blanket for charging a power station until I can upgrade my DC to DC charger. So before purchasing this product, just make sure that your system can indeed handle the voltage of this solar panel blanket, and you can find that in the tech specs of your DC to DC charger. Now, I did end up testing this blanket on a windy and also rainy day, but I was expecting the light weight of the blanket to move it around a little bit, but even when the wind picked up, it stayed exactly where it was, exactly where I put it. A future design consideration I'll be putting forward to Renogy would be to have the cables exit from the corner panel of the blanket if that is possible. This would allow the user to set the blanket up with the cable closest to the item they're powering or charging. Because it's in the middle of the blanket, I had to connect up my extension cable to make sure it reached to the back of my canopy. Likewise, I had to fold the panel up to get to the cable, so having the cables on the edge or the corner would be really useful. Unfortunately, this has been a problem on my previous solar panel blankets, so I assume there's probably a technical reason for it being in the middle of the blanket. Besides the cable placement, my only other concern is that I wouldn't feel comfortable putting the solar panel blanket on the bottom of a vehicle that shows scratches. With 3 plastic buckles and multiple zippers, there would be a strong potential for creating light scratches on a glossy or multi-stage painted vehicle. Now, for my single stage painted Landcruiser, it's not an issue, but just for those of you who have a vehicle like my FJ Cruiser over here, you probably might want to look at putting it in a different spot as opposed to on a painted surface. There is also a bit of a learning curve to packing the solar panel blanket away as well, but the trade-off for that obviously is a tiny footprint and easy storage, which is well worth it for when I need that extra power in a pinch. Now, from my testing, I think that this solar panel blanket packs an absolute punch for its size, and for me, it's just that extra bit of insurance to make sure I can keep everything powered on my long trips. And given that it just easily fits in my drawers, that is an absolute win for me. So now let's wrap up this review with my final thoughts. So with the testing all done, will I be keeping the 400-watt solar panel blanket from Renogy in my long-term touring setup? And even though it doesn't work with the built-in lithium battery that I have in my canopy, I will still be using the solar panel blanket just to charge up things like power stations. So it does still provide for me just that extra alternative power source. So for me, because of the limited amount of space that it takes up, I will be including it in my setup, and it will be even more effective when I'm able to swap out my DC-DC charger with one that can handle the voltage that the solar panel blanket from Renogy actually does put out. So I'm looking forward to having both of those systems working for me in the future. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you have any questions about anything that we've covered today in today's video, let me know down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video. And I'll see you even sooner down in the comments section. See you there.